guys, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well today. So guys, my audio on my camera was acting weird. It was like wow. So I decided to just do a voiceover on this video. So I made 4 pumpkins and well, I've been making a lot of pumpkins actually, but these 4 are pretty special to me because I decided to give them little personalities. They feel like they have personalities, you know? And so this pumpkin is super fun. Her name is Charlotte. And Charlotte's really sweet. She's a sweet girl. And the thing about Charlotte is that she is lovely and she was emotionally there for everyone, but she's rotting because she was carved a couple of weeks ago and thrown into a side yard. And the cool thing about Charlotte is that there was some seeds left over in her cavity. And she said, when I die, I will decompose and my genetics will live on. I know it sounds like I'm losing it, but I like Charlotte. I like this whole series. It's really kooky and quirky and fun. It lets me kind of let loose and just dream up these little stories for these little pumpkins. So I feel like the story is that they all stay in the same pumpkin patch, I think. And they are taken different places, you know. People have picked them up from one pumpkin patch. That's kind of how I feel about it. And Charlotte was always emotionally there for everyone. Charlotte was one of the good ones. And she just kind of was put into a position where I guess all pumpkins are, where they're kind of used and tossed, which is kind of sad. But Charlotte thought about the positives of it and realizes that her genetics will live on. So the next pumpkin in this 4-part series is Luann. Luann has always been very, very cautious. She was kind of upset because someone decided to turn her into a jack-o'-lantern, and that's not the life that she wanted to lead. And so she said, well, maybe I'll just kind of keep pushing and edging myself off the steps. So she kind of kept falling, kind of flipped off on the steps and kind of quietly just rolled through the grass until she got into the woods. And mushrooms kind of started growing around her, and she was like, oh, this is the life I wanted. This is what I wanted to be. She didn't really care for the way the people that had her kind of jagged up her lips and her mouth, but after a while, after the mushrooms started growing within her, she was kind of like, this is me. I now realize that sometimes things happen to you and you just kind of have to roll with it, you know? I'm not the person that I thought I was, but now I am the person that I have became. And I'm okay with that. So she's just living her life in the woods with all the mushrooms, and she's loving it. And the mushrooms are poisonous too, so she's all for it. So this guy is hilarious. Simon named this guy, and as soon as I pulled it out of the kiln, Simon's like, that's muckety muck. And I was like, muckety muck? But it kind of makes sense, you know? So his name is Muckety Muck. Muckety Muck had an interesting life because Muckety Muck ended up in a swamp. Isn't that crazy? So Muckety Muck was just, he also, well, all of them were taken from a pumpkin patch, but Muckety Muck was in a situation where he was taken from the pumpkin patch. He was brought to a farm. They were carving him and having fun with him. And then they were just kind of all right, let's all clean up. And they just kind of tossed him into this murky forest. And it turned out to be a swamp. So Muckety Muck got all sorts of things on him. And all these vines started growing. And they also didn't carve him very well. They didn't really take too much time to carve him. So he was able to kind of thrive on a little bit. He was able to grow and grow these beautiful lush vines around him. And he really liked it. He liked it a lot. He liked the fact that he wasn't carved too deeply because it just kind of felt like he can kind of like carve his own path. Carve. Anyway. Um, and so he just kind of lives in the swamp and just like, I mean, sooner or later, I mean, he's going to decompose, you know, but right now at this moment, he's pretty happy with the way he is. He's pretty thrilled with the way life is going. And he also loves the wildlife that's in the swamp. It's like so cool. But don't tell him that he can be eaten by someone. He's kind of like in this weird moment, like this weird time where no one's eating him. So he's kind of like, okay, I am super happy. It's weird because he doesn't realize that he's also decomposing and that someone could eat him, but he's okay. He's okay. He's just living life to the fullest, loving everything, loving the swamp, thriving. You guys, he's thriving. And the last one is one of my favorite ones. They're all my favorites, but I really love this little guy. His name is Charlie. He's awkward. He tries to help and he has good intentions, but he comes off the wrong way. And he sometimes does things that aren't socially appropriate, but he's trying. And he kind of has bad timing. He's like trying to get better with reading room, but, but, he's like, he's like doing so well. And he's a little timid and a little shy, but he was like, when he was carved, he was totally happy with it. It kind of gave him a voice, you know. He was like, oh, this is me. And he also kind of like is, maybe he's just like being overly this way because he realized that, oh, this is me and I'm claiming it and this is what I'm doing. So he's a little overly confident, but you know what? Like, it's okay. It's okay. He's just kind of happy being who he is and standing out from the crowd and helping whoever he can, whether they ask for it or not. So this is it. This is the end. All 4 pumpkins. So, what did you think about the video? Let me know. I enjoyed drawing these little mugs. They were super fun to draw. So let me know what you thought about the video, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.